But first, we go to the middleweight division. He worked his entire life to get to the top. Once there, the fall was quick and painful. Tonight, Evan Tanner set to return to the Octagon against the man who's been taught by the king of the streets.
Justin, the Executioner Levens, is a black belt in Ruas Vale-Tudo under the legendary king of the streets, Marco Ruas. Levens likes to come out aggressively and let the bombs fly. The 25-year-old sports a 7-1 mixed martial arts record and has never had a fight go past the first round. When Jeremy Horn had to drop out 2 weeks before the event, Justin jumped at the opportunity to test himself against a former world champion.
I know I'm the underdog in the UFC at Anaheim, but this is my hometown, and I don't expect anyone to walk in my backyard and beat me. This is my town.
Former UFC world middleweight champion Evan Tanner punishes opponents in the clinch. On the ground, he is absolutely vicious with elbows from the top and is a serious submission threat from the bottom. A tough-as-nails veteran who has seen it all, Tanner is participating in his 15th UFC fight. Tanner labored long and hard to become a UFC champion, and he will not rest until the belt is once again around his waist.
Well, I definitely see myself winning. It's just a matter of how. You know, I'd like a knockout, but ground and pound, submission, whatever.
Coming up next, Justin, the Executioner Levens, takes on former middleweight champion Evan Tanner.
Justin, the Executioner Levens, Ruas Vale-Tudo student, and, you know, if you've seen any of the earlier UFCs, Marco Ruas was one of the first complete mixed martial arts fighters. One of the first guys to incorporate great striking with great ground game, and Justin Levens is one of his top students. He comes from an excellent camp. He's got a lot of experience in other organizations, and this is his Octagon debut. Took this fight, like we said, on short notice just a couple of weeks ago. Jeremy Horn was originally slated to fight Evan Tanner. Justin stepped up at the opportunity for the big show. And a step up it is, because Evan Tanner is a very, very experienced fighter, and he's had a whole bunch of fights in the Octagon. And as we've seen many, many times before, the first fight in the Octagon, a lot of times these guys can't show their full game. They get nervous, the moment overwhelms them, and this being in Justin's hometown, this being 18,000 people, the first show ever in California, we'll see how he reacts to this new pressure.
There he is, the former world champion, Evan Tanner, now with the American Who Hit You team. And I'll tell you what, he looks 10 years younger, really, than the last time we saw him. He looked amazing, absolutely ripped at the weigh-ins. He's clean, he's lean, he's happy, and that means he's potentially very dangerous.
He's always very dangerous. Evan Tanner's a very solid fighter. He's a very good wrestler, but he also has a very good game off of his back. He submitted Homer Moore, he submitted Robbie Lawler with a triangle. He's very good in any position. He dominated Dave Terrell, got on top of him and pounded out the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu specialist. He's a very tough guy. He's always got excellent endurance. He's a big 185-pounder. He's just come up short against some of the cream of the crop. Lost to Tito Ortiz at 205, lost to Rich Franklin at 205, dropped down to 185, lost to Rich Franklin again. Always that close to beating the best, but not quite enough.
Amazingly, when you look at him top to bottom, Loazo, Franklin, and Ortiz, the only men to defeat him in the UFC. Our tale of the tape for this middleweight matchup brought to you by Zion's Extreme Supplements for Extreme Athletes, available at GNC stores nationwide. 10 years the elder is Evan Tanner, but if Evan Tanner looks 10 years younger than we've seen him before, well, you do the math. Evan Tanner and Justin Levens are set to get it on. Official introductions, as always, come your way, courtesy of Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, this fight is 3 rounds in the UFC middleweight division. Introducing first, the fighter standing in the blue corner. This man is a jiu-jitsu fighter who holds a professional record of 7 wins with 1 loss. He stands 5 feet 10 inches tall and officially weighed in at 186 pounds. Fighting out of Laguna Niguel, California, Justin the Executioner Levens. And now introducing his opponent, standing in the red corner. This man is a freestyle fighter who holds a professional record of 33 wins with 6 losses. Standing 6 feet tall, he officially weighed in at 186 pounds. Fighting out of Salt Lake City, Utah, Evan Tanner! When the action begins, our referee in charge of the Octagon is Herb Dean.
Herb Dean, our referee for this middleweight matchup between Justin Levens, the Executioner, making his UFC debut, and the former champion, Evan Tanner. Tanner loves to get into the clinch.
You ready to
loves
fight?
the dirty boxing.
You ready?
And
Come on,
would
let's do
love
it.
to get back to his winning ways. Lost his last 2 fights, but he lost his last 2 fights to the 2 men who just fought for the middleweight belt. And what a battle that was between Franklin and David Loiseau.
Evan Tanner looks much larger than Justin Levens. If you look at his physical build, the musculature and everything, he looks much larger. Levens looks a little on the soft side in comparison.
Now Levens with Marco Ruas, the former UFC fighter, the king of the streets, and he is a black belt in Ruas Vale-Tudo. Well, initially Tanner was to fight Jeremy Horn. But this is what Tanner loves to do. He loves to just, you know, it's like Randy Couture used to tell us, you just kind of suck the life out of your opponent when you can get him into the clinch and neutralize his ability to do anything.
Yeah, and he was originally, well, not originally, but he spent a lot of time up at Team Quest.
Absolutely.
And he's a very good wrestler. Justin's got a front choke here, let it go.
A lot of his early victories were with control, and now he is just as everybody else. He's just widened his array of skills. But he used to control and punish people.
Evan has much improved his striking, and one of the things you see about his striking that's improved is his angles. He's much better at coming in at different angles and moving around and presenting a much more mobile target.
Evan loves to pull that head of his opponent down and try to land some vicious knees, and Evan Tanner really has been one of the guys who has been most effective throughout his career with the utilization of his knees.
Yeah, that was a nice knee to the body there, too.
And the takedown.
All right, this is a bad spot for Justin Levens.
Side control.
This is where we saw him finish off Dave Terrell.
Tanner was really dominant in that fight over Terrell.
Yeah, and Tanner does not mind being in the half guard. He likes to stay in the half guard and just drop elbows and punches. And unlike a lot of fighters, he's actually very effective in this position. He'll just rise up like this. Look, see how he's got a hold of the head? See how he's got a hold of Justin's head with one hand. He's controlling it, holding it in place, and then dropping those bombs on it. Looks like he's going for a submission on the right side. He's pushing that arm. He's trying to push his arm up like he was going for an arm triangle. He's controlling Justin's right arm.
Now he tries to throw with the left elbow. He's going to try to set up that big elbow. I like David Loiseau and open him up with a razor-sharp elbow strike.
Justin's going for a leg lock. Oh, he's got it.
Oh, he spun out of it, Tanner.
It's hard. It's hard getting that when guys are slippery. He's going for a heel hook. Whoa, drops to a triangle. If he can get his foot, good job by Levens in trying to break loose here. If he can get his foot underneath his knee, he's got it. He's got it locked in.
Can he get it?
Real bad for, he's got it.
Can he finish?
If he pulls his head down, Tanner's over.
It's over.
Good job by
Evan Tanner with the submission victory.
That was a beautiful transition. He jumped right up to it. He had that arm trapped in place, jumped right up into it, and all he had to do was lock that foot underneath his knee, finished him off with a triangle.
Well, you said he had it locked in, and even though he took one right into the face because of it, he was able to finish off Levens very quickly.
Let's take a look at the replay here. Like I said, I mean, Evan Tanner he's great in every position. That's the mark of a really experienced fighter. You see, he reaches up, He's got that foot secured under his knee. Levens is forced to tap.
You just see the transition and the expansion of the game of Evan Tanner as he wins by submission and gets back to his winning ways here inside the UFC. As experienced an Octagon veteran as we have present day. And he makes short work out of Justin Levens. Here's Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Herb Dean has called a stop to this contest at 3 minutes 14 seconds of the very first round. For the winner by tap out due to an armbar triangle, Evan Tanner.
The big smile on the face of Evan Tanner tells us that he is back. And Tanner defeats Justin Levens. Here's Joe.
All right, I'm here with the winner, Evan Tanner. Evan, you've had some ups and downs in the UFC. How important was this win for you tonight?
Well, this win was extremely important. You know, got a little distracted the last couple fights. Didn't train like I should. Didn't have a team to train with. I got a new team I'm working with, the shoebox team. George Oliveira, Roberto. They're going to take me to the next level. You know, this year is going to be my year. I think this year I want to kick a little ass.
All right, that was a beautiful triangle. Talk us through it. Look up on the big screen and talk us through that submission.
I just had his arm isolated, so I went, you know, I've been visualizing this move, just went back for the triangle, shifted the hips out and caught it. You know, got to give Justin Levens full credit for stepping up last minute. You know, first time in the UFC, stepping in with me, so you know, all the respect to him. He did a great job.
All right, congratulations, Evan. We look forward to seeing you again. Evan Tanner, ladies and gentlemen.
That's a great point Evan Tanner makes. You know, Justin Levens comes into the UFC, his first ever fight in the Octagon here in the state of California, and he takes on a former world champion, Evan Tanner, with an impressive submission victory at 3:14 of the first round of action. Now,